Good evening, good afternoon. It depends on the time that you're listening to us today. Again, we come again to your beautiful screens. My mothers, my sisters, and women of Africa, the Caribbean, the Pacific, women of Cameroon, women of Angola, Congo, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, African women spread in the UK, in South America, in North America, not forgetting Asia, of course, Australia as well. We send you our profound salutations from the deepness of our heart at Zolabantu. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know that many do not have the time to listen to such, but you can at least even listen to 10 minutes and then you can go back to your work. Listen again 10 minutes up to when you'll be able to finish it. Leave your comments below. This is a beautiful message for our mothers, our sisters of Africa. The men can also listen, but this message is strictly for our mothers because we love them so much, and we're doing basically this series for our mothers of Africa. Welcome again to the mission of the woman on earth, part 3, entitled, She is the Guardian of the Sacred Flame. Oh my God. Today is going to be such an amazing conversation we're going to have with you, my mothers. You will be blessed at the end of this session, and you'll be able to be open to more knowledge to understand exactly your role as women in the universe, your role as women on this beautiful earth. We spoke to you in part 1 that you are the helper of humanity. You are the God help of humanity. And then in part 2, we spoke to you to say that you are the essential liaison bridge. Please, if you haven't watched these 2 episodes, please, I insist that you watch Helper of Humanity and Essential Liaison Bridge before you can move on with this one. My dear brothers and sisters, mothers of Africa, we love you so much at Zolabantu. Today we are basically going to speak on part 3, you are mothers, you are the guardian of the sacred flame. You know, my mothers, like we said, what we're basically teaching here is wisdom. It is the message of knowledge. This message that has come in the beginning of Aquarius. Remember, the time of Aquarius began in the 14th century. That is why we're telling you, our mothers, all the mothers of Africa, all the mothers of the diaspora, listen to us carefully. And we're also telling you, the pastors, also listen to us carefully. Have the humility and listen to us very carefully. I would like to draw your attention, when we say don't take our teachings and think it's a joke, you see, my mothers, if you take our teachings as a joke, it is like you're building a house with sandy bricks instead of stones. Your house will fall because it does not have a good foundation. So instead of listening to us, you're thinking we're joking. And by the way, many of you are the first to criticize us and say we are giving teachings and messages. So you were the first, like I was saying, you were the first to criticize us and say that we are basically giving you messages of the Illuminatis. No. Christians, mothers, listen to us very well. Come and listen to the mystery of how God made you a woman. A woman, whether she's a girl or a young lady or a mother or even an old woman, even a baby girl who is born, she is a woman, a mother. If you don't know, you are the mediator. You are the mediator of the light of God the Father. You that is listening to me, you have the capacity to receive the light of God. You are able to receive the flame of light. It is not available in a man. You receive it so that you can be able to enable ennoble the entire creation by distributing it. You have many roles, yes, my mothers. You have so many roles. Actually, there are certain verses in the eternal gospel that the Son of Man says, I can deny and disown and even reject all the men in the world and just remain with women. It is enough. Because the role that a woman plays surpasses a man by far. He says, I can remove all the masculine energy from the universe. I can remove all the men on the earth and only remain with the women. It is done. A woman is a mediator. She will receive my flame of light as it descends, and she will ennoble it. That is the role that they gave you. A woman is what they call the guardian of the sacred flame. A woman is the guardian of the sacred flame, of the light of God the Father. A woman is the one that is the guardian since the beginning of time. A woman is the guardian of the sacred flame. And being the guardian of the sacred flame, she has the role of love. She has the role of conservation. She has the role of purity. She's a mediator. Ennoblement is done by her. Healing is done by her. So a woman has many roles. She is the guardian of the sacred flame. You know, the Bible of 1492 that the Europeans brought to Africa, it destroyed so many things in Africa. Starting from the ancient Egypt, our ancestors knew these things very well. The guardian of the sacred flame, a woman. If you observe in many ethnicities in Africa or in many countries of Africa, observe those ethnicities that still have that guard of purity. See how they behave with their women. See how they behave towards their women. If you want to see if a nation has the sacred flame, the guardian of the sacred flame, just look at the behavior of the women, how they are carrying themselves in that nation. You will then know if they are guarding that fire, that sacred flame or not. You would know it just by the behavior of the women, my mothers. My mothers, you would need to understand that in the hierarchy of creation, in our positioning before the King, you are our elders. When we are entering into the temple before God the Father, it is a woman that enters first because she's the mediator. You know, she goes and takes the will of God the Father, his instructions, and then she brings it to where everyone else is living in the society. So what we're trying to say is a great paradigm shift, Sankofa, the great return. You say, in the world we have never seen this kind of thing before. It is not possible. It is so. We have fallen. You are women, you fell. We will learn about it in detail. Don't worry. Even if a man appears as the front or head of a family, as it is widely mentioned and known in the world today, but it's a woman. But it is basically a woman who is standing strong behind. Behind every great man, there is a greater woman. But we're going to arrive there slowly, my mother. But first thing you need to know is the goal of a woman. The goal of a woman in the world, it is to do exactly what? The first goal of a woman is to distribute love. It is a woman that gives love to her husband. The Bible says, men, love your wives. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. But here we're saying that it's a woman that gives love. If a man has the capacity to love, he took it from his wife. Because love is one of the elements of the sacred flame. Element 1 of the sacred flame is love, Zola. In that sacred flame, love is on the inside. And she's the guardian. She's a protector of love. Look at the hate that we have in the world today. It is due to the failure of a woman. You will hear a woman telling her husband, still, I want to travel to Europe. Kill those people. It is enough. We are sick and tired. See the language of a woman. What sort of flame is that? Our mothers. Many of you will try to correct such a woman who speaks like this. But my mothers, look inside of yourself. You that is trying to correct that kind of a woman. But you yourself, are you the guardian of the sacred flame with the element of love? In our last session, we said you are the healer. Element number 2, healing. A woman, when she sees a child is wounded, does a woman criticize a child? No. For sure she can be shouting, you don't listen, come here. But you see she will take a bandage and begins to fix the child. Yes, that is how a woman is, because she wants to maintain a good health wherever she is. Maybe today, me, Avi, I might backslide. I might go on the wrong path. You, the women that have heard me, how many of you will call me? We're giving you concrete examples to show you have failed in that place. How many of you will call me to say, my father, the things I've heard, why are you speaking like this, my father? Honestly, I did not sleep the entire night. I didn't feel good, my father. Please do this thing like this, like this. That is the goal of a woman. But today you have lost your way. Today, Brother Avi can lose his way. Brother Cabello can lose his way. Brother Yannick can lose his way. Brother Sipo can lose his way. And anyone, the men can get lost. But you see, the first people who will hurt us are our women. But instead, they forget that they're in the role of healing. They have the element of healing, which is one of the elements of the sacred flame. Element 1, love. Element 2, healing. You see, you fail. We're giving you concrete examples. A man will hit his hand on the table and say, no, I don't like this. I would not do this. You hear a woman say, father, please try to talk first to your friend. Don't do this. A woman, motherhood, femininity. She is the mediator. Mediator meaning someone who takes from God the Father and gives to humanity. She's the mediator. But a woman of today, she's egotistical. She teaches her husband egotism. A woman of today, she's like, she knows it all. There is no love. Normally, when a woman takes something from God the Father, she knows how to care for it. Conservation. She knows how to take care of what she receives from God the Father. That is why even in the physical dimension, you will see that if a man has money, he will come and hide it to his wife. Trust me, the first reflex when a man gets money, he comes to keep to his wife. He says, Mama, please keep this. But today, if you give a woman money, she goes to drink beer. Today, if you give your wife something to keep, you even regret why you gave it to her. No good account to come out from her. A woman. Normally, she needs to be full of love, a mediator. Even if she's doing work, you see, she will take a bank card, an ATM card, and give to her husband. Father, please take this. If you want to buy something, please do. These kind of women exist. But women, you fail. Women of today, Chineke, for you to see her bank card, it is difficult. Ezamatata, you have to fast 40 days. A woman is someone that conserves the purity inside the house, inside the world. That is why our African ancestry, even in Egypt, in Kemet, if someone is a king or is in a kingship role or a pharaoh, they used to give the daughter of a priest to him as a wife. A king was a blacksmith. Back in the days, a blacksmith was a person who makes and repairs things in iron by hand. It means the king was in the field of execution, implementation, execution of work in the society. He was basically the yellow color. The yellow color, yellow, Color yellow in spirituality represents those that put things into action. The red color is for the judges, not the president. A president is a blacksmith, yellow color, an executor. And so, because that position is for implementation in the society, they bring him a daughter of the priest, one that is prepared to conserve the blue flame. Color blue is the color of love. Western civilization has turned everything upside down. Love has become a red heart. No, color blue is the color of love. Color yellow is the color of execution and science. And color red is the color of the judges. Zolangangu lendo nsakumpamvu nzinga. So the daughter of the priest that is given to the king as a wife is prepared. She's prepared in her father's house to how to conserve the blue flame in the house of the first blacksmith of the nation. And then those that are of a red color, the judges, are then observing on the side. The blacksmith, the president, is a yellow color. He has been given a wife, daughter of the priest, who is the blue color. And then the judges, who are the red color, they begin to observe how things are moving. This is how our ancestors governed in Egypt. Ntakumpamvu nzinga, priests, scientists, and judges. Blue for the priest, yellow for the scientists, the field of execution, and then red for the judges. So, you cannot be of the blue color, you're a priest, and you want to become the president. No, that is reserved for the nzingas. That is reserved for the yellow color. Go and become a teacher and a counselor if you are of a blue color. But in the executive, there is a need that the blacksmith empower to direct it. But in condition that this blacksmith, he has to be initiated, and he needs to have a woman who is a daughter of the priest, that comes from the tribes of priests. Why? Because she is the guardian of love. She is the one that will be reminding her husband the love of the nation, the love of the children. A man gets upset, I don't want to see these children anymore. Wise woman will say, Papa, that child looks just like you. If you deny this child, what will happen? You see, even yourself, you begin to laugh. Okay, give him the money to buy that things. A woman, she's conserving the godship inside her house. She watches and she prays. Element 4 of the sacred flame. Remember, element 1, love. Element 2. Remember, element 1, love. Element 2, healing. Ennoblement. It means she places the beauty of being in a place. You know, you can be at a place, but it should give you that beautiful experience. The word ennoblement relates to words like magnify, to raise, dignify, elevate, exalt. The place becomes beautiful and nice, and your heart becomes happy that place basically is ennobled. Take a woman out of a house, come back after 1 week, there is no ennoblement. The shoes are on the floor, toothpicks on the table, socks everywhere. But when a woman who is a guardian of the sacred flame walks into that particular house, 30 minutes, you will feel the presence of the spirit of ennoblement. You know, when I was in the university, we were living basically with some boys, just like boys around in the house, about 4 boys sharing an apartment. We had invited 2 ladies from a different province to come and visit us, like for 2 weeks, just for a visit. The women that came, I think the way they were trained from their family, they had the spirit of ennoblement. We used to go to class in the morning and then leave the ladies behind in the house. And when we came back around 5 p.m., the house was clean, everything was at its place. I'm telling you, my friends who are listening to this, who know what I'm talking about, those 2 women were full of ennoblement. They gave us an experience we never experienced before. You come back, the house is clean, you can walk barefooted. Everything is beautiful, no dust, our beds are fixed. A woman. You see? And you say, wow, it is a pleasure to stay here. You don't feel like leaving, because it is a place that reflects what Christians say, the glory of God. Because of the presence of the Maungu, the Christic energy that is there, that place is directly ennobled. The goal of a woman on earth. That is the goal. We'll learn about it later, of course. But in all activities that a woman would do, there's a need of that sacred flame. Look at the elements of the flame. Love, conservation, healing, ennoblement, purity, and mediator. So that flame needs to always have these ingredients. And for that, God made women different. He gave them an inner ear to hear the voice of God. We men, as men, we do hear the Spirit of God. If you really are pure, you will hear your spirit. But a woman naturally, she will not just hear her spirit, but she also hears the kingdoms of light. She hears the spiritual kingdom. She hears the higher realms. She has a natural facility to do that. Men, even if we truly fear God, we can hear our spirit, yes. But if there's something that God wants to speak to you, it can only pass by your wife. You fear God, the Father, yes. God says, I see my servant Yannick fears me. But there's something I want to tell him. But the bridge of essentiality is not in him. So I'll use his wife. Now, imagine you as a woman, if your sacred flame is turned off, it's not burning. Your husband becomes blind because of you. Of course, God loves your husband, but he does not know how to receive the information that is very spiritual and thin and lightened, because that bridge is not in you. A man begins to navigate for life in foolishness. It's like you send your man out, my mothers, it's like you send your husband out to confront the world wearing a trouser with no belt. He's fighting a war with a trouser that has no belt. How can he win? He's trying to punch and the trouser is coming down. He's punching, the trouser is coming down. He will return home. There is no sacred flame. A sacred flame comes today, tomorrow it flees, because the capacity to conserve it is not there. Because for you to be able to conserve these things, these elements, love, conservation, healing, purity, mediator, for you to be able to conserve these elements as a woman, for you to be able to achieve all these things, you need to also have certain virtues and certain qualities. We will speak of these virtues in our next episode. What are the virtues for you to be able to conserve the sacred flame? But here we're trying to speak to you about why you came into this world. But look at you today. Some of you have started to chat on the internet for 24 hours, insulting, drinking, smoking, getting drunk, a woman of anger, a mediator of fights. You hear women say, if you play with me, I will smack you on the face. Who do you think you are? You're playing with me? Even the whole face is messed up. If you enter with them in a restaurant, you look at them, they have all become short women. See, a big stomach. Why? All that inner body of wickedness has come outside. Why? Because you live in hate. Look at women today in Africa. Big stomach. You only conserve evil things. A woman that holds a grudge. Papa Ki-Muntu tells an amazing story to say when he was in Congo, Brazzaville. He basically received some men that came to visit him. They said, Pastor, we see that you're very young, but you're very wise. Please help us. He was not even married by then. He said, I should help you. He said, oh yes. What's the issue? He said, by that particular time, it was 1986. He was basically helping some pastors. So a couple came to visit. The woman began, Father, there's something that my husband did to me. I never find the capability to forgive him. Papa Ki-Muntu said, really? So this thing has happened for how long? She said, since 1953. Papa Ki-Muntu jumped. Mama, since when? No. I wasn't born by then, Mama. I wasn't born. A big grudge. Of no joke, a grudgeous woman. She's taking certain disposition and grudges towards her husband, but she's pretending to be nice. We'll learn about this. How are you going to conserve purity? Since 1953 to 1986, you still hold a grudge for your husband. You haven't forgiven him. A grudgeous woman. You will become a mediator of the kingdom of darkness. No ennoblement. You will see her in her house, there are no glasses. If you go to her in her house, there are no glasses because she has broken all the glasses with anger. You don't even know how to conserve the things that you're getting. You see a woman, since all these evil things is in her, has not come out in the open, everything she touches breaks. She doesn't have a sense of consecration. Everything she does is contrary. She's dispersed in her head. How then can you guard the sacred flame in those ways, my mothers? But rather, God sent you specifically for that, so that you can be able to have the capacity, so you can be able to give your husband the capacity to be able to execute in the right way in the society. So, for your man to be able to get things from God, your husband can be very educated, he has a degree, blah, 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 but he can be blocked because the sacred flame that comes from God, that needs to come through you, the wife, to bless your husband, is blocked because you do not have the qualities to guard the sacred flame. Your husband will give you something to keep, and the day he will ask for it, you will go and look for it under the bed, inside the pillow covers. You take off this pillow cover. It was here. Where did it go? You take off this. Unbelievable. Others can have this kind of negligence, but not a woman. My mothers, listen. The knowledge of a woman is to care. Her femininity is filled with grace, filled with purity. She's a mediator. Solomon married so many women, like it said in the Bible, so he knows them very well. He says, who can find a virtuous woman? It is a gift from God. Proverbs 31. He says, he who finds a woman who has virtues, it is a gift from God. We'll learn these virtues in the coming lectures. It is only when she gives birth to these kind of virtues, then she can be able to be the guardian of the sacred flame. And she will have just intuitions. She will know how to conserve the things of God the Father. She will be able to materialize these things into the world in the right way. And Solomon says, he who finds such a woman is a gift from God. See men these days, what we have become like. A man wants to do something, but that thing can be done better by a woman. When the woman volunteers to do it, the man is like, wait, I'll do it myself. So as a woman, you have become someone who they just tell, leave it, I'll do it myself. It is a disaster. It is a big disaster. No trust to leave work to you. Where is your womanhood? You only know how to wear a trouser at 5 a.m. off you go to work. You were not called for that. We'll learn it well in deep. We have 9 episodes in the mission of a woman on earth. Your eyes will be opened. You were called for something great. It is to be the mediator before the eternal. A woman needs to be transparent in a way of purity that is manifested in actions, in words, in thoughts, and also in her works. A woman is a woman of prayer for those who are Christians. A woman is a woman who goes towards invocations if you're a Muslim or part of the African traditional religion. Even she wakes up in the morning because she loves her role of a mediator. She doesn't eat anything, just anything, no. She doesn't eat any time. She's trying to keep her blood clean. She's a woman who's sometimes worried about gaining cholesterol in her blood, which might even block her ability to be a mediator. We shall learn all about this, my mothers. When a man is at work, he has the pleasure to go and pick her up. But today, a man returning home is a problem, because he will go and meet a bully and a giant, like how it is mentioned in Proverbs. Solomon really laid it out perfectly. Proverbs says it amazingly. Better to sleep on the roof of a house, on the corner of a roof of a house, than to sleep with a nagging woman. Proverbs 21:9. So at the corner of a house, Solomon says it's better I go and sleep there, because the kind of anger that she takes out, no, it can burn you. It can burn you to ashes. My dear brothers and sisters, to find a virtuous woman is a gift from the eternal, my mothers. What flame are you guarding? Is it sacred? The sacred flame contains love, conserves the fruits of the Spirit. It has tenderness. A woman conserves the fruits of the Spirit. You'll be speaking blah 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 blah. You go, some woman is speaking like even a parrot is better. Blah 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 blah. Ce n'est pas possible. Is this a woman or what? Our mothers, you like most of you like messages to be theoretical. No. Sometimes it's good if we give you examples for you to be able to understand. Oh, this is because you are no longer a mediator of the sacred flame. You don't know how to mediate with God. You now begin to be a mediator between your pastor and your house, because you have lost your intuition. The grace to you, your essentiality is to hear outside, to be able to hear the higher realms, the spiritual kingdom. But you have lost your intuition, and now all you do is listen to your pastor. Ki-Muntu tells another amazing story about this situation. He went to visit a certain man with his husband, and the husband was there, the wife was there. The woman said, when my pastor is speaking, I feel like something in me, inside me, is shaking. The husband heard that and gave her a slap. What? When the pastor is speaking, you feel like something inside you is moving? What sort of nonsense? The inside of you is moving. A fallen woman who destroys her home because of another person, that is prostitution. You're not asked to do a mediator between you and your husband's friends or a pastor. No. When you shall be able to return to maintaining the sacred flame, you come to understand that a married woman, listen very careful, you come to understand that a married woman, she only speaks to the friend of her husband in the presence of her husband. If the husband is not there, she doesn't feel comfortable. Maybe she will say 1 or 2 lines, that's it. But today you hear them say, Avi, let's meet some over there, let's go and do something. What sort of women are these? Impossible. You will see a woman, I see many of them on YouTube, she's taking beer and she says, this is my best friend. This is my inner friend of trust. Oh, really? Your inner friend of trust? Oh, yes. This is my mother. No joke. This is my biggest fan. What is this? How can Africa be constructed? The goal of a woman on earth. 5 key goals. But for her to be able to hold these 5 things, she needs to first birth certain things inside of her. Those 5 things are what makes her the guardian of the sacred flame. That sacred flame contains love, conserves the instructions of God, watches on purity, because when there is flame, everything that is close to the fire, the dirt will fall off and it will become pure. So when a woman is conserving the sacred flame, she begins to purify everything around her. She's the mediator between God and her house, not between her house and the pastor or the guru. No, leave your husband to go and see the guru. You instead stay at home as the guardian of the sacred flame, because you are the one who is to watch out and see if what your husband brings from the guru is right or not. You are there to bring life into your home, the ennoblement of your home. Children will not grow with sicknesses. Children will always have a good health in the house. Children will be happy. They will come back home and meet their mother. Bible says the children look at her and say, God bless you, Mama. Proverbs 31 verse 28. But today a woman will leave the house in the morning. She goes out to do the work of the Lord in the house of the pastor. And the work of the Lord in the house of the pastor is what? To braid the pastor's wife's hair. She'll come back home at 6 p.m. Her children home, she doesn't know. Even the way her children is growing, she doesn't know. In other houses, you even see the children become more attached to their father. My mothers. So which flame are you guarding? The guardian of the sacred flame. That is why you see when a woman enters into the temple, they are always on their own side as women. Men are also found on their own side as men. Look at the illustration. In a temple, in a church, men and women should not mix and sit in the same place. No. If you look at the nation of Islam, Mrs. Farrakhan, you see women sit in their own place. Even in the Branhamist, the women sit in their own place. But these churches of nowadays, so much mixing. So why do women enter in the temple and sit in their own side? In the true temple of God. Where basically there's the presence of God. The presence of God comes in like a ray of light and enters the temple. It needs to go and meet women who are in the behavior of a mediator. See, that is where women are supposed to sit in their own place. And if they are really guarding the sacred flame in their life, the ray of light comes and enters into them. And then they take it and distribute it to everybody else. Now, imagine you're in a church where men and women are seated together, mixed. There's so much confusion. So much confusion. So when that rays of light enters the temple, it will be very difficult to be embraced by the women because they are all mixed up with the men. That is why in the temple, women should be on their side, men should be on their side, so women can be able to embrace that ray of light. And then when they receive it, and they'll be able to distribute it to everybody else. It is a woman who received those rays, and after receiving it, you should be able to return home and give it to the family. It is a woman who receives and embraces those things. The same way it was in Egypt, in Kemet. That is how our ancestors walked, and also how Master Yeshua taught it. And also the same way how Vidimukulu, the Holy Spirit, the Son of Man, came to teach. Our ancestors knew this. It is the Bible of 1492 that came to destroy everything. What are we seeing with the churches of today? What are we seeing there? A woman is coming in. She has worn a very short skirt, and her top is transparent. Her bra is exposed outside. They're polluting the temple. Is that what they call a church? A temple? We're not here to criticize or judge. I don't know if there is a ray of light in your churches. Please observe. People who have a gift of clairvoyance, they can see. It's not a lie. If you really have a godship in your church, people who have a gift of clairvoyance, they can see the ray of light. And these your churches where you hire buildings. Oh my God. You see in the night, it is a bar. Other people come there, they do evil things, twerk all night and dance immorality. You come in the morning, it is a church. At night, a nightclub or a bar. In the morning, a church. So the ray of light comes in the morning. And when you leave at night, other people come, the ray of light leaves. So you're not playing ping pong with God. He sends his light, he takes it back. But let me tell you in all honesty, in your churches, there is no ray of light. It is only in the true temple of God that the rays of light are there. For you Christians, try to even observe the people of the African traditional religion. See how they behave in the temple. But you Christians, zero. We can even give good remarks to the Muslims. They have begun to abuse it, but they began very well. But it's basically declining. If you go into the Buddhists and the Hindus, they call the sacred flame the lotus flower. In India, you will find a monument called the Lotus Temple, as you can see on the picture. So, if we basically are trying to return If our women return again to guarding the sacred flame, the leader of the nation, the elites of a nation, that country's president is a dictator. Huh? Yoweri Museveni, a killer, full of brutality. But if that president has gotten to that particular level, it means his wife is not the guardian of the sacred flame. A prime minister who has become a thief, it means all the money of the people that has been taken from the trade of natural resources, the prime minister takes it and begins to buy houses and private planes, not knowing that that money he's taking is depriving the people of a stable and prosperous life. But he happens to have a wife. Is that wife a guardian of the sacred flame? Because being the guardian of the sacred flame, she has love. If she really has love, she will begin to tell her husband, yes, he's human, a blacksmith. She will be reminding her husband, be careful. You lack love. That act is not right. Repair it. You want to embezzle the funds of the people. No. God the Father gave you that role to lead the people. Now, if you embezzle the funds, they will not be paid, and sickness will enter in their houses. Because if you embezzle the funds, diseases will affect the people. That is the role of the sacred flame. The wife of the president, the wife of the prime minister, the wife of a deputy, the wife of a magistrate. Conservation and purity. The wife of the president needs to insert purity in the house, and your husband will be full of purity. These are things that if a wife of the president or wife of the prime minister meet these conditions, you will see that the president, even if he lacks wisdom, he will develop wisdom. You yourself do a research. Go around the nations where the presidents are really helping their people in the right way. There's a great role below his wife. A wife of a president is not just by pleasure. You say, hey, I married the president. Oh, our daughter is married to the president. She is married to the prime minister. You have a great role to play as wives of leaders. You need to be guardians of the sacred flame. In our ancestry, it was always like that. And that is why you see the kings of the past, the priests of the past, basically they were wise people. Even the name kings was brought to us by white people, but we used to call them wise people. And their wives used to be guardians of the sacred flame. Many times in Africa, before you bring down a king or a leader, you have to first destroy or silence his wife. That is the only way to be able to overthrow the king back in Africa. Because if you neutralize the guardian of the sacred flame, that is it, it's done. That is it, the king will fall. Because the woman is the strength of the king. You, the elites, Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, is your wife the guardian of the sacred flame? You hear them say, yes, Mama is holy, she prays, she sings songs, even people follow her, she's building churches. No, my mothers, we will know if you're a guardian of the sacred flame through the work of your husband. If you are truly a guardian of the sacred flame, is your husband a dictator or not? Is your husband brutal or not? Your husband has wisdom or not? You see, the guardian of the sacred flame. Even if the man is brutal, there are many men who have a certain behavior, and then he meets a virtuous woman. Hey. And immediately the man returns to normal and is wise. And we're like, what? What happened? She changed him. And we're like, no, thank you so much, Mama. You're really a blessing to this man. Wow. Because that president who wants to rise up in dictatorship, like in Congo we had Mobutu, 31 years of dictatorship. His wives were not guardians of the sacred flame. They were not. But if that woman is the guardian of the sacred flame, she will bring him down and give him back wisdom. Miracles that Master Yeshua spoke about, you will do miracles. Miracles is in what sense, my mothers? A woman basically multiplies everything that she gets. You give a woman sperm, she gives you a baby. You give her fruits and groceries, she gives you a meal. You know. So when you give a woman a man, she's supposed to make that man even greater. You can take a caterpillar and turn it into a butterfly. You can take a rough metal and shine it like gold and diamond. That is a miracle. You as a woman, that is also your role. You can take a man who is rough like a metal and turn that man into gold. You, women, because you have that power. A woman of a president, it is you that has the power to remove your man from being a dictator, killing people, harming people, no freedom to people. You, the wife of a leader, you have that role to return your husband to wisdom. In his life of egocentrism, he can return to wisdom. If it is not happening, it means you, the wife, you're also contributing. You're an accomplice. What are you doing in that marriage? It looks like that marriage is just a marriage of the flesh and pleasure. But if it's really a marriage of complementarity by harmony, your man cannot get to the level of wickedness that he has. The leaders that are leading us in Africa, we do not say all of them. Most of the marriages that they are in are marriages of the flesh and pleasure. So what are we saying? It doesn't just engage a woman in marriage, but all women. Because what they call future and destiny of a country, it is in the hands of two people, the president and his wife. They hold the future of an entire people. And so who is the first guardian of the sacred flame of a country? It is the first lady. I laughed when Kanye West was saying he's going to run for president of the United States. I said, hey, my God. So that lady will be the guardian, the guardian of the sacred flame. President Macron. Hey, my God. We have a big problem. She is the first guardian of the sacred flame of the highest. And this will be known through the work of your husband. We will not observe you, mama. No, we observe the work of your husband in the society to know if you are the guardian of the sacred flame. You can wear makeup and look nice, and people say, hey, our first lady, she knows how to dress. She's a Christian. But the work that your husband is doing is contrary to what you're doing. You hear them say, oh, my husband does not listen to me. So that marriage is basically a marriage of the flesh then. If it is truly a marriage that is blessed from the heaven, that man, no matter how he is or was, he needs to come down. And even you, a woman, if you're a president of a nation, president of Tanzania, that is even more dangerous, a big responsibility, because you are a president, and again, you are the mediator and the guardian of the sacred flame. Are you going to carry your nation to light, or are you leading it into trouble of darkness? It is very sad today. Some women have been mentioned in the affairs of corruption. The Panama Papers, the Pandora Papers. A leader of a country, when he's about to be bribed, corrupted, the money of corruption goes, his wife is the one that goes to take it. How then, with this attitude, the country should progress? Mother, when they want to bribe your husband, they pass by you, and the world knows. How do you expect such people, when they spend 5 years in power or 10 years in power, that country should progress? Our leaders' wives are in competition with one another, flying to buy who's the first to get the plane, this car and that car. A woman who is a guardian of the sacred flame, even if her husband is a security guard, she'll be happy. Why? Because being a guardian of the sacred flame means what? It means in the environment that she's in, there's only love, there's only conservation of the values of God, purity that reigns. She's the mediator. Everything she places it before God. You hear her, God will provide. We will do this. My husband will give all the strategies. She's basically ennobling all the areas. A man will return home and finds a good place to live. They give him a cup of water. He drinks and says, my wife, I went there. How did it go? But today you return home, they grab you by the collar. At times you get a slap. And when you take that slap, how are you going to be able to find a common ground? You're already stressed. You're already stressed. Why? The woman. Because a woman is not affected by the society. She is affected to the man, especially if she's the wife of a leader of a nation. That is why leaders in the wisdom of our ancestors, they used to marry for them a wife. It was a union of activities. When they are preparing you as a leader to take over the throne, it is nothing like, oh, I like her because she has nice hips. Oh, I like her nose, her lips are very nice. No, these criteria were not counting. The criteria that was counting was if the woman is prepared to be the guardian of the sacred flame. And the grace that she has is what? She gives birth, she gives form. If there's a need of healing, she will do it. But most importantly, she knows how to guard the sacred flame. She knows how to guard the climate of love in her house. She knows how to conserve the fruits of the spirit. She conserves the secrets of her husband. A wife who badmouths her husband, gossiping negative about her husband. Black people, you hear her. You're playing with me. One of these days I will show him. He will see. I will show him. A woman who's bad-mouthing her husband. Why is that? Is that marriage? What is that? No purity. Because purity on the flesh is what gives cleanness. A dirty woman, 2 days she hasn't taken a shower, but she's live online, Instagram. She's live on Snapchat. Hi guys. Spent 2 days she hasn't taken a shower. In our African ancestry, women entered the temple. You see for the Muslims, going to the temple is not really important for the women. It is not an obligation. For them, she's the guardian of the sacred flame in her marriage. So their women need to have a place in marriage where she's basically being the carrier of the light of God the Father, because the Muslims say that the real temple will come when Isa will come. Isa basically is Jesus. So women come to the mosque in Islam, but not compulsory. But our African ancestry, women were much closer to the truth in terms of Godship. In our ancestry, women entered the temple. As they enter in that place, it requires a lot of work. We're insisting on the dressing. We're insisting on the things, on the ways of motherhood. You see, the Christians, it is a disaster. It is a great disaster. Even when we stay in our churches, so many mix-up, it is difficult. It is very, very difficult. The way we dance, you look at the dancing, some of the dancing, it is not possible, my God. What are we saying today is you need to know that a woman is the guardian of the sacred flame. For sure, she's going to the temple once, but she's a guardian every day. That flame, she receives the force at the temple, but protects the flame at her place, at her house. It is at her place that she guards the flame. In a place of work, she needs to guard the flame. But today we are fallen. You, my mothers, we no longer have mothers. We used to say, hey, these people are playing with us. But when the file of corruption appears, it is a woman who went to collect the money. You see, they will nominate a woman's husband as a minister. The woman begins to put pressure on him to buy her relatives' houses and cars. She begins to put pressure on him, buy me a house, do this for me. The man becomes a thief. It is the woman. Even those that claim to go and protest and become combatants, they want their men to go and steal. It is the woman. A woman has fallen. Why? She doesn't know her goal in the world. She is everywhere, up and down. She now has an independent mindset. Me too, I'll make it in this life. I didn't come here for anybody. But ask her, to make it in life, it means what? Is it to guard the sacred flame? She doesn't even know that she is in a position of semi-degree superior before God as compared to a man. How do you then expect as your men, your brothers, your younger ones to direct the world physically in the right manner? Because Master Yeshua said, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the will of God comes from heaven. The woman takes it, gives it to the man, and the man constructs. But if you are disconnected, what happens to us? So we as men have to take what you take from God and then materialize it in the world. My dear brothers and sisters, worst of all, we'll learn about it The woman basically has denounced and abandoned her role of guarding the sacred flame. She has followed the man to the construction site today. She says, me and those your things of the sacred flame, please spare me. She tells the man, okay, so you're climbing this tree, let's climb together. You're building this house, give me the cement, let's build it together. Feminism in the wrong way. A woman now has metastasis cancer, the spread of cancer from one place, from the place where it first formed to the other place, to the other parts of the body. The godship and woman in her is normal, and later she is sterile. That is why you see, you learn about it. Even your faces have changed. Look at you. Too much male hormones. Other things you were thinking, oh, it's normal. You now have beards coming out and things like that. You pick up a lot of things. You are the guardian of the sacred flame. The beauty of a woman is manifested when she vibrates in love, when she conserves the image and the things of God. She ennobles herself. See where that woman manifests beauty in ennoblement. Your mothers were like that. Even their way of laughing and talking. In the countries of the past, you would know the truth. But if you want to know the truth, you call a woman. She never lied. But today, if you want to catch a liar, call the woman. And when she's lying, she begins to cry. It's the one who influenced me. A woman begins to do a business deal. Oh, they raped me so she can get money. That is the mentality now. Check the US court issues today. Bill Clinton and all these R. Kellys. Women are the ones who are accusing them. Everything is possible with these kinds of women of today. Our mother had the shyness to watch things like pornographic contents and things like that. Now a woman watches these movies freely. Her children are dancing some dances that would not even know. Hey, Yamado, in front of her, a woman. Can you imagine your mothers doing such things? You hear, oh, that was their time. No, we speak of facts here. We can modernize the role of a woman, but we need to remain a woman. And to be a woman is not to be inferior. It is a role. It is the goal to attain in life. My mothers, we spoke to you about the structure of creation. Let's summarize. Where God the Father is, where Master Yeshua is leading. After that, we basically spoke to you about the kingdom of the holies, Basantu. All those that succeeded and conquered the flesh. All those that are directed by Mwandavelela Akongo, the Holy Spirit. And then we have the kingdom of the army of the Lord, the workshop of the Lord, Valhalla, Olympia, Kakongo. The servants of creation who work for the highest, and they are there to watch out. The post-creation basically lacks nothing. And then we have Mother Earth, Mama Toto, where you and I are. And then the godship of God, basically the Father has two things. It has love, it has purity. It is the woman that holds it. A woman has a grace on the inside of her. She is the bridge of light that is doing the passage of all the spirits that is coming from the kingdom of light or the spiritual kingdom to come into this world. It is the woman who embraces, the woman who gives birth. Yes, she gives form, she heals, she purifies. It means she has a thin intuition. And when she's in the world, there's the reason why she's in the world. She didn't come to the world to become a millionaire, a billionaire with money in the account. No. She can do it temporarily to basically strengthen a man, but it's not a responsibility. It's not a place of work or homework. She came into the world to distribute love. She came to conserve the things of God the Father. She watched that there's purity in the post-creation, and at all times in the upcoming projects, she will be the mediator. And if we want to ask God for something, we pass by the woman. She's here to give harmony in the place where she is, in her house. And anytime there's an issue, it's the woman who rises up and saves us from the problem spiritually. And all this is what we call the sacred flame. And that is the guardian. And that guardian is the woman. And like we told you that the politicians are like blacksmiths. The builders that are building the world. And to build the world, the first of all, the builders basically need to marry a priestess, daughter of a priest. He marries the daughter of a Nsaku, daughter of a priest. But for her to be able to be the guardian, she needs to have certain things on the inside of her. It is not just, hey, we are guardians. No, you have to give birth to virtues. So in our next episode, we will learn each of these virtues one by one. You will then see which virtues do you need to have so you can be able to truly be the guardian of the sacred flame, so that your intuition can be developed. That is why a woman is attentive. She doesn't sit anywhere. She doesn't have a handshake. She doesn't give a handshake to anybody. You see, in our ancestors, she will not even give you a handshake. She will only salute you from a distance. Hi. All those behaviors, so she can be able to conserve the energy that is inside her, because she knows that her family is in need of that flame. Today, women don't even wash themselves on the inside. Women are now doing occupations of no use. A woman is looking for money like in a rat race. A woman is no longer a woman. A woman has become a fallen thing. Our nations are fallen. Our mothers are saying, where are our fathers? Where are the men? They should rise up. No, you should rise up. It's not that you should rise up to fight outside and carry guns like the men. No, you will rise up in your house, in good behaviors, in living in the right way, in a good vision, and see where it will give your man good sense so he can go out in the world and do his work in the right way. We will speak of the work of the man for sure. But many times, the work of the man is just a consequence of the success of the work of the woman. We love you so much, Untitled.